All right, so welcome to a workshop offered by our Work-Life Benefits office here at the University of Kentucky. Today we're going to be talking about family medical leave, the basics related to family medical leave, as well as specifically talking about paid parental and paid elder care leave. All right, so in this workshop, we are, as mentioned, going to talk about the family medical leave basics. We're going to talk about definitions, who's eligible for it, when you should use it, application process. We're also going to break down the paid parental and paid elder care leaves. As you guys know, the University of Kentucky extended our paid parental and elder care leave as of July the 1st, 2025. So our paid parental leave is now 4 weeks, where it was 2 weeks prior to that date. And our paid elder care leave is now 2 weeks, where it was 1 week prior to that date. So we're very excited about that. We also will be talking about FML and TDL, also known as temporary disability leave, and that's our sick leave. So we're going to talk a little bit about when do you use one versus the other. And we also are going to talk about our faculty leave policies because our faculty, their policies are different in some ways. And so we have a couple of members from our Office for Faculty Advancement here today to talk about that. And then we're going to also just kind of touch on the way that when you take family medical leave, how that could potentially impact your benefits and your pay. So here are our presenters for today. We have Chris Dudley. He is our HR manager for leave administration and remote work. We have Dr. Kenneth Jones. He is our assistant provost for faculty development with the Office for Faculty Advancement, as well as our director for faculty extension and engagement scholarships with the Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service. We also have Megan Lucy. She is our faculty systems director with our Office for Faculty Advancement. And then we have Gail Carbol. She is our HR manager with our benefits team. And then I'm Azetta Beatty. I'm the HR manager for work life and benefits. We also have assisting us today is Hazel Tyshan. She is our elder care specialist with work life. So just want to kick us off with this little quote that encourages us to take care of ourselves. It states, it's okay to take time for yourself. We give so much of ourselves to others, and we need to be fueled both physically and mentally. If we are in balance, it helps us in all our interactions. So that's just a little quote to remind us that we all are on this journey of work-life management. And we oftentimes, as caregivers, you're trying to take care of other people, but it's super important to also make sure that you are taking care of yourself. So to get us started, we're going to start with family medical leave and talking about our staff processes.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. As Azetta mentioned, my name is Chris Dudley. I'm the HR manager for the Leave Administration Group. And we'll take a few minutes. We're just going to kind of talk about family medical leave um, and just sort of the processes, what it is, what it isn't, how it works, and how all those things come into play. So family medical leave is a federal regulation. It was put together by the Department of Labor back in 1993. What it allows for is for an eligible employee to take an unpaid, and I think it's very, very important to realize that we are talking about this as unpaid job protected leave for specific family members and or serious medical conditions. So it allows an individual to take up to 12 weeks in a 12-month period for a qualifying event or a qualifying individual. The university does not follow a fiscal year or a calendar year for those 12 weeks. So we use what we call the anniversary date, and that is really specific to the individual. So it goes back if I started taking family medical leave today, August the 12th, I could have up to 12 weeks through August the 12th of next year. And so every time I would have to use family medical leave, it would always be based on that August 12th date. Ways to take family medical. There are three common ones. One of the most commonly used is continuously. For example, if someone had surgery or somebody that might have had a child that will be off, let's say August 1st through August 31st. That's continuous. There's intermittent leave. So this might be somebody, if you have to take a parent to physical therapy or somebody has something like that, it's every Tuesday or a couple times a month. That would be that category. And a reduced schedule is just that. We do see that happen quite a bit with some folks that might have, again, have something like surgery or they're trying to come back to work. And if that happens, we work both with the employee and the department and make sure that everybody's in agreement to that reduced schedule type of scenario. When it comes to eligibility, there are certain tests that the federal government requires us to go through. They have to be in a regular position with the university for at least 12 months. As you may see online, it does not have to be consecutive, but it does have to be over the last 7 years. And they have to work a minimum of 1,250 hours in the previous 12 months. Um, It's something that we don't ask departments or managers to try to calculate them for themselves. One of our family medical leave administrators can calculate that eligibility for you. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to that office, and like I said, one of them can run the numbers for you. And most times, as long as you're in at least more than a zero point 0.5 FTE, you should be able to reach that 1250. If you have an employee or if you receive this document from your manager, this is called the FML memo. What it says is, hey, you have what we considered a possible FML qualifying event. So a good example, if we find out somebody's been hospitalized or something like that, they'll send that out to them. We sometimes in-house call it the 15-day memo because we also ask for it to be completed and turned back in to us within 15 days. The arrow at the bottom just kind of helps supervisors understand that, when you start sending that out, how do you calculate the actual 15 days? So if you get something like that, we do ask you to sign it. One, it just shows that you were giving the FML paperwork and that you understand when you need to get that stuff turned back into us. The next one is just a quick look at the actual FML application. Um, these things can change and do change quite a bit based on information we get from the Department of Labor. The UK websites should always have the most up-to-date FML application out there. Occasionally we see folks that might have had a copy of something from many, many years ago and they still use those. We'll still accept them, but it's always best to have the most latest and greatest one that's out there. But anyway, you would fill out as an employee, you fill out section one, check the appropriate box, and then your healthcare provider would fill out the rest of it, and then they send it into us. Everything comes into a secure fax in our office, and then our team members start picking those up and start processing them. Now we do process on the way they come in. Our office does somewhere in the 600 to 700 FML applications per month. So if you have an urgent thing pop up, please let us know and we can try to pull that in and move it up the list if need be. But I always tell people this, the sooner the better to get those things into us. In case there's ever any questions, we can come back to you and make sure that everything's filled out appropriately. But like I said, the websites are the best place to go to pull down the most latest and greatest FML application. The paid parental and paid elder care leave programs, these started back in, I believe it was 2021. As mentioned, we have updated and expanded that program beginning this fiscal year. One thing we do see quite often from folks is some people will turn in this two-page document for either parental or elder care leave. This is only for those individuals who do not qualify for FML. So they've not been here uh, the 1 year of service, or maybe they haven't worked the 1,250 hours. So if you turn in your FML application for childbirth or adoption or for caring for a parent, that is all you need to send in, and that will start the process. But again, these two-page documents are only for those folks who do not qualify under family medical leave. Hours and eligibility. Um, for the paid parental leave, or all of them, actually, they have to at least be a point 0.5 or higher FTE. Faculty, WEPs, and postdocs are not eligible, and they are available on the first day of employment with the UK. The only thing I would say about that is uh, we do, since we have to go through some of the systems and input some of this data, um, it's best to wait until you've actually got some accruals out there before we can start entering that stuff in. The paid parental leave, like we mentioned, it is now based on up to 4 weeks. It's also based on the person's FTE, and those hours are good for 6 months. Paid parental can only start at the date of birth or formalized adoption. Paid elder care leave is 2 weeks now. It's also based on the FTE, and those hours are good for 1 year. Uh, Now you can only receive any type of additional award for paid elder care if the serious medical condition is completely different from any other previous awards, or it could be for a different parent. We also base this on how the FML application was written. We do see sometimes individual put, those activities of daily living. And then when they submit another application, it says the exact same thing. So that doesn't give us a whole lot to go on. Um, so based on that information, sometimes those type applications for an additional paid elder care award are not granted. Uh, what you might see out if you have access to SAP is how the hours look. So you'll see sometimes out there, it'll say parental leave or elder care leave. So it'll show you the hours, your entitlement, how many you have requested, and the balance that's remaining. So if you use Kronos, there is sometimes a delay between SAP and Kronos. Uh, like if I went to SAP, I could see the hours, but if you're pulling up your balances in Kronos, you may or may not see those hours. And in that case, we just work with workforce management to make sure they can get those hours pulled in for you. FML or temporary disability leave, TDL leave, as I mentioned, that is your sick leave. When to use family medical, typically that's more chronic or long-term type of leave. Again, birth, adoption, caring for a family member. We also put military leave. We're not going to get into the military leave aspect. We've probably only had to use that maybe, I would say, less than 6 times in the last probably 10 years. We don't get a lot of need for that, but if you do have a family member that's might need FML for military leave, definitely want to reach out to us because there are some differences that we have to handle for that. And again, using FML more for caregiver support and things of that nature. When to use your TDL time, that is more occasional, short term for yourself or a family member that's not considered a serious health condition. Um, and again, it may be a day here and a day there. The use of the paid parental and paid elder care leaves. Like I said, these running concurrent with family medical leave. So FML, as mentioned earlier, is unpaid leave, but the university requires one to use any sick or vacation time that they have available. Both the paid parental and paid elder care leaves are new buckets of time to draw from. I call it a new funding source. What this does is you reduce the amount of your personal time that you have to use. So that's the when you're out on FML, you would draw against the paid parental or the paid elder care leave hours before you start having to dip into your own personal sick and vacation time. Next little bucket just kind of talks about when to use TDL. Oops, I'm sorry. Go back just one for me. When to use your TDL well-being time. That can be used for almost anything. Um, you can use that for any type of self-care. We have people that go to maybe it's Keeneland, or maybe it's the first real pretty spring day, or maybe they just want to go take a day and hang out in the backyard, or whatever the case may be. But that's for you to use. But of course, like with any leave, you would want to talk with your supervisor or manager about taking those times.
Okay, now we'll share a little bit of information about faculty processes. And I also have Megan Lucy, who is our faculty systems coordinator that will be joining in and chiming in also as she works very closely with faculty leads. But some of the things that you'll hear regarding faculty, I know we just have a few on the session here. There are some similarities, but there are some differences. You will note that we do have a document that contains the faculty FML policy. The link to that document can be seen here in the second bullet, next slide there. That second bullet, you'll see the link to that document. Do not be alarmed when you go to that document. It is signed by a previous provost and has a previous year, but as of today, that information is still very relevant. All faculty leave requests are to be submitted to the Office for Faculty Advancement. It is not to be submitted to UKHR. With all things UK, there is a policy for granting TDL and FML. Faculty do not accrue sick leave, but there is a lifetime balance of 6 months. It's always good for faculty to report in writing an onset of an illness or qualifying event, and that qualifying event, as documented in the policy, could be an illness, surgery, care for someone else. We do know oftentimes we may just call in or let someone know that we're going to be sick, but or we are sick. But it's important when you can to have the information in writing. Again, faculty should submit requests for FML directly to OFA. Who should faculty report to? You'll find in the document that I referred to earlier that faculty who are ill for 1 day to 2 weeks should notify the department chair or unit director, who should make sure that it's documented in the personnel files. The chair may also ask for documentation from a medical provider. Faculty that's sick between 2 weeks and 4 weeks, they must notify the department chair or unit leader, who will notify the dean of the college, and the dean will then grant the paid leave status and document that in personnel files. And anything beyond the 4 weeks must be approved or granted by the provost, and that's when the information is submitted into the faculty database. And Megan, if you can talk a little bit about that process.
Yeah. Um, just I know it says it repeatedly on the slides, but faculty members, if there's like one thing that I could emphasize to you, that's to send your leave forms to us, not to HR. On the actual leave form, there's a fax number for faculty, and there's also the URL for our OFA website. Either of those routes will get the form to us. Um, and I also want to introduce Associate Provost Rebecca Thomas is on the call here. She's the person in the office that actually reviews and approves the leave applications. And any that are over 20 days, whether it's FML or TDL requests, come to us, to Dr. Thomas for review. Um, you are required to communicate with your department chair and dean if you are going to be out. You are not required to share your personal medical information with them. The FML form is submitted directly to OFA. When we approve it, we send a message back to the college notifying them to enter the approved leave in the faculty database, and to communicate with you about coverage and those sorts of things. But we do not send the form that your doctor signed back to them. We try to protect your personal medical information in that way. So I don't want to monopolize too much time with the ins and outs of faculty policy. The big thing I want to give to you all as a takeaway is to come to OFA if you have any questions about it at all. Thanks.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm here to talk to you about the impact on your benefits while on your leaves. Go ahead. So we'll want you to contact HR Benefits to talk, to continue your insurance plans and discuss the benefit payments while you're on family medical leave, especially if part of your or all of your family medical leave happens to be unpaid. So if you've exhausted all your paid time. One thing about family medical leave is that it does continue, as long as you're on family medical leave, your health care credit continues. So you're only responsible for your portion of like the health plan, of course, dental and vision and life insurance and all those other benefits that you have. So we can talk to you and set you up on our direct billing system where we pull out those premiums from your checking account or savings account, or we can prepay or pre-pull those deductions from your paycheck, or we can catch you up when you return. As long as you're returning within 90 days, we can catch you up. If you were to go into a leave that's not paid beyond the family medical leave, let's say you had a surgery and the recovery was 4 months rather than 3, and so there was a part of that you had approved beyond the family medical leave for unpaid leave. If you work at least one day that month, you will receive the health credit. So, for example, let's say you start family medical leave on August 21st. It ends on November 21st, and you're off until December 21st. You'll receive the credit. You'll receive the credit for August, September, October, and November because you're on family medical leave. And I'm talking about the health credit. You'll also receive the credit in December because you've returned December 21st and you're in a working status before the end of that month. If you were to not return, let's say you came back January 3rd, then December you would not receive the health credit. There's just some other stipulations. So just be aware of that if you are planning a surgery or something down the road. So NPM group, we do have on the slide that you might want to consider the NPM short-term disability. You can sign up for short-term disability every year at open enrollment for the next fiscal plan year. If you are planning a family, and as long as that planning hasn't taken, as long as you're not pregnant, you can sign up and have that childbirth covered under short-term disability. After you sign up. So something to consider. Another thing, I mentioned the premiums that we'd be able to catch up. You'll want to contact NPM, the broker, if you have some of these other health or other plans like your auto and home, the cancer disease specified, the hospital indemnity plan, any of those voluntary benefit plans, because they can bill you directly to your home if you were to move into unpaid status. So I think that covers everything. NPM group can be contacted at 859-223-4973. That concludes the benefits portion.
All right, thank you, Gail. So we're going to transition to talk a little bit about caregiver support. And just wanted to remind some and maybe share for the first time with others, especially if you are a new employee here at the university, that we do have a variety of resources to support you on your journey. And so just want to mention that we do have an elder care specialist, Hazel Tyshin. She's actually on the workshop with us today. And through the elder care specialist, you can have a one-on-one confidential consultation to talk about your elder care needs. So if you are providing any type of elder care need support for a family member, a loved one, even if they don't live here, they can live anywhere. You may live here in, let's say, Lexington or the surrounding area, but your loved one, for example, may live in Ohio or New York or someplace else. She can assist you with locating resources no matter where your loved one lives. In addition to that, you're welcome to sign up to be on her monthly mailing list. She sends out a monthly newsletter and a blog, and she also has a Facebook group and a Teams group. So if you're looking for a community of other caregivers or just a space where you can ask questions or connect with others, those are good things to consider. As far as the consultations go, we do have an online form that you can submit requesting a consultation, and you can also call or email her directly. With the parenting and childcare resources, we have a variety of ways to support our employees as well. We have what we call our Working Parents Network, and there's different ways to join. We have a Teams group and a Facebook group, so you can join either one or both of those. And then also you can just simply attend our monthly workshops. We have monthly workshops on a variety of parenting related topics. We also have different parenting related resources such as lactation support and so forth. And then we have a child and pet care referral service called Big Blue Family Care. That works really well for parents that are seeking part-time support for care that they may need or employees that may have pet care needs. And we do have an online form that you would complete to submit a request for those resources. And we also have monthly newsletters and blogs as well, and lots of great resources on both of these websites. And I also wanted to make sure that everyone realized that all of our services are open to all employees, faculty, and staff. So just want to make sure it doesn't matter where you're located, where you work, if you're hybrid or remote or across the state or out of state. If you're a UK employee, all of the resources are open to you. And other things to mention, I mentioned we do have monthly workshops. We have a variety of other events, such as a virtual dementia tour. If you are a person caring for a loved one that has either any continuum of dementia or you're just curious about it, that is an experiential education opportunity. We will be offering one of those in October of this year. And you can check out our website for details about how to sign up. But we do have a variety of opportunities just to support you. Other benefits I just wanted to mention outside of our parenting and elder care, we do have mental health, emotional, physical, nutritional, and financial support as well. So if you were to visit our work life well-being webpage or contact any of us, we'd be happy to steer you in the right direction. Also, just wanted to share contact information, ways that you can contact us so that we can support and guide you on this journey. Here you will see FML contact information. One of the quickest ways is to email the lead admin fml@uky.edu. If you just kind of had a general question, you're not sure where to start, that's a good place to start. And on your screen, you'll see our elder care, I'm sorry, not elder care, our FML contacts, Lindsay Powell, Carson Gill, and Evan Prince. So feel free to reach out to them for assistance. And here we just want to wrap up to just say that we do have websites that we're going to share in the chat with you guys that are here live, but in a follow-up email as well. So you're welcome to go to any of our websites where you'll find an abundance of information and resources to support you, to answer your questions, Many of these pages have FAQs on them or just ways to contact someone. So you'll find information related to our FML administration office, our office for faculty advancement, our HR benefits, our HR work life and well-being, and also our workshops and events calendar. When it comes to HR, all of our workshops and events are listed on one calendar. And there's a way to filter the calendar depending on the category that you're interested in learning more about. But check out our calendar for details about the upcoming workshops and events and how to sign up. So as we wrap up today, we just wanted to say thank you so much for attending and participating, and we are so glad you're here. And if you need us, reach out to us. We are here to support you.